Hi guys, how are you all doing? So in this video, I'll show you how to install Scrapy. But first of all, we need to install Python. I'm not gonna install it from the official website. Instead, I'll be using Anaconda, and there is a good reason behind that. So Anaconda basically will help us installing both Scrapy and Python. Now, from my experience, installing Scrapy without Anaconda, especially on Windows, is a little bit tricky, and you may need to install a couple of dependencies manually. So whether you are running on Windows, macOS, or Linux, I highly recommend you to use Anaconda. Alright, now enough talking, let's go ahead and download Anaconda. So from your browser, go to anaconda.com and then click download. Now let's scroll down. And as you can see, Anaconda is cross-platform, means it runs under Windows, macOS, and Linux. So depending on your operating system, please go ahead and download Anaconda that comes with Python 3.7. You just have to click on this download button, okay? I already have it downloaded, so I'm gonna open up the Downloads tab on Chrome. Here is the installer as you can see, so I'm gonna open it up. Alright, now I'm gonna click Next. And the installation process is pretty much similar to any operating system. You only have to click a couple of buttons and you are good to go, okay? Now I'm gonna click I agree, and then next, and then next, and then I'm gonna click install. It's gonna take a while, so I'm gonna pause the video right now. I'll be back when everything is set up. Alright, perfect. Now I'm gonna click next, and then next, and then let's uncheck this one and this one. Let's click finish. Alright, perfect. Now to be able to interact with Anaconda, we have two options. We either can use the Anaconda prompt, and then within this Anaconda prompt, we can write, for example, commands to create an environment, activate an environment, and install packages. We are not going to use the Anaconda prompt. Instead, we will use the Anaconda Navigator, this one, which is basically a graphical user interface to interact with Anaconda. So let's open it up. It's gonna take a little bit of time when you open it up for the first time, so bear with me. Alright, so here's how the UI or the user interface of the Anaconda Navigator looks like. Here we have a couple of pre-installed apps, and those apps are installed on the base environment. This one, okay? We are not going to install Scrapy in that same environment, so let's go ahead and create a new one. So let's click Environments, and then let's click Create. Let's give it a name. I'm gonna call this one Virtual, and then Underline Workspace. You can call it whatever you want. And then down here, make sure you are selecting Python and the version as 3.7, okay? Now let's go ahead and click Create. It's gonna take a little bit of time. Alright, perfect. So as you can see, the environment has been created. Now the next thing we have to do is to install Scrapy. So back to Chrome, I'm gonna open up a new tab, and then let's go to scrapy.org. Now, since we are using Anaconda, let's go ahead and click on Conda. Let's scroll down, and then let's copy this command. Now back to the Anaconda Navigator. Click on this play button, and then open terminal. Alright, so as you can see, this will open up the command prompt, and here it says that we are using the virtual underline workspace environment we just created. So every package we install, it's gonna be installed only within that virtual underline workspace environment, okay? Now let's paste the command we've just copied. There we go. Now the latest version of Scrapy at the time recording this video is version 2.0.1. I'm not gonna use that version. Instead, I'll be using version 1.6, and later in the course, I'll cover what's new on version 2, okay? So to install version 1.6, we add double equal signs, and then 1.6, there we go. And then in addition to Scrapy, I wanna also install a package called PyLint, which is basically a Python linter, and another one called Auto Pep8 to follow the Pep8 standard in Python. Now finally, I'm gonna add -y to accept installing all the packages, okay? Now I'm gonna press enter. This will take a while, so I'm gonna fast forward the video a little bit. Alright, perfect. Now to check if Scrapy was installed correctly, I'm gonna clear app everything using the command cls on Windows. If you are using Mac, you just type in clear like that, okay? And then let's go ahead and type Scrapy. Let's press enter. And as you can see, we have Scrapy version 1.6, alright? Now, one last thing before we finish up this video, and regarding the Code 18 software I'll be using throughout this course, it's called Visual Studio Code. It's a very known Code 18 software nowadays. It's fast and super easy to use. So let me show you how you can download and install it. So back to Chrome, and let's search for Code Visual Studio. Let's open up this first link. Alright, now to download Visual Studio Code, just click on this button. It's available under macOS, Windows, and Linux, okay? I already have it downloaded, so I'm gonna open up the Downloads tab again. Okay, here's the installer, so I'm gonna open it up. Let's click I accept, and then next, next, and then next. Let's click next, and then install. Alright, now I'm gonna uncheck Launch Visual Studio Code, and then let's click Finish. And then let's go ahead and close the Anaconda Navigator. Let's open it up again. Alright, now within the Anaconda Navigator, we can launch Visual Studio Code. So first of all, make sure you are using the virtual underline workspace environment in which we installed Scrapy. So let's select it. Here is VS Code as you can see. So to execute it, just click on this launch button. Let's wait a little bit. Alright, perfect. It's launching VS Code. Now, one last thing for macOS users, if you don't see VS Code inside the Anaconda Navigator, please follow the steps in the article down below this video, okay? So this was everything for this video. See you guys in the next one.